This week on the Nindie Focus Podcast. What is this art style called? It's like some kind of polygon, right? I mean,
I have a 4-letter word that describes it.
Yeah. Ryan, yeah.
It's gonna be a wild one, and it all starts right now. And welcome to another episode of the Nindie Focus Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me are my good friends Jordan.
Yo.
Phil.
Hi guys, I'm happy to be here.
And I'm glad you're happy to be here.
I tuned it down from last week, okay? I debated going way over the top and I didn't.
You'll find the good middle ground at some point.
Yeah.
No, it's just going to keep getting more and more ridiculous every week. To hell with the middle ground.
And then Mike.
Hi, guys. I'm here.
Hey.
Wow, Mike's not even happy to be here.
I know, he's like captive. He's like, I'm here, okay?
I'm satiated to be here.
Whoa.
Whoa. Welcome to the show. We have quite a bit to talk about. We're talking about the games we're playing, and then we have our switching on a budget game. And I'll just announce it right now. It's oh my god, Police Car Chase Simulator. So we'll give our thoughts on that. But before we go into that, let's go around and talk about the games that we're currently playing. And Mike, we'll start with you. What games are you currently playing? What indie games are you currently playing on the Switch?
That's what the Nindie games that I'm playing.
Yeah.
So I'm playing a game by the name of Glaive Brick Breaker. And this is another one of those games that nobody ever talks about. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of games on the eShop that people don't talk about that are pretty good, and I guess that's why we're doing the podcast. So that was really meta. My brain just kind of zapped out for a second there. Sorry. So Glaive Brick Breaker. So if you ever played a game like Arkanoid or Breakout, you know what this is.
Yeah.
It's got the bar on the bottom of the screen that you control, and the ball bounces off it, and you got to break all the bricks to get to the next level, and so on and so forth. So that's essentially what it is, but it really shakes things up a bit from like just being another Arkanoid clone by having different types of blocks, some that take a lot more hits that to break than others. There's also some that are not breakable, but they sink into the background and go into the foreground. So at one point you can just pass through it, or another point it'll bounce right off of it. Just like in the in those other games, there's power-ups that you can get. The only downside is the power-ups on this game are a little too common. I would have preferred to see the power-ups be a little more rare. Like there was at some point, you always love it when you play that game and you hit that ball perfectly, that it gets trapped on the top.
Yeah.
And it's like diddling, diddling, diddling,
Yeah.
diddling.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then you're just showered by, and I'm like, I don't know which one to get. What do they mean? This one has an L on it. I don't know what that means. So again, like that's what it is. But you can get it on sale. It goes on sale regularly for like $1.
Yeah. What's it normally priced? Do you know?
I think that's a good question. You know what? The problem with that is it shows up on your Switch for the price, but if you bought it, it says purchased. So
I
think it might be $5.
Okay.
I'm on it.
So still pretty cheap yet.
Yeah, Glaive, Glaive, which wasn't that the name of the weapon from what was that? It was an Xbox 360 launch game, Dark Sector.
Yeah, I think it was.
That was the name of the weapon in that game. I love that game.
That was a sweet game.
That was like Krull. Do you remember that movie Krull?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Moving back. So there's a lot.
$9.99, Mike.
$9.99.
Oh, $10.
Okay. It said not. Don't buy it for $9.99. Get it when it's on sale.
All right.
There's a ton of levels. It's got a really, really good soundtrack. I love listening to the music in that game. And more so, it has a create your own level.
Oh, wow.
Or
That's
level
awesome.
Maker. Yeah. The only downside to that is that you can't share them.
I was just going to ask, yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's the downside. You can't share them. But it's still fun to, and I think, I might be wrong on this, but double check if you're interested in the game. I think it has a multiplayer mode where one person, no, that's not a multiplayer mode. There's some levels where your bar is both on the top and on the bottom. So you need to like keep an eye, it's interesting having an upside down version of the game.
That's interesting.
I would have loved to see the game playable in Tate mode.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
That would have been cool to see. But all in all, it's a fun game. Absolutely worth the sale price. I wouldn't say the $10 unless you're like hardcore, into Breakout.
Yeah.
If you still have an old Nokia phone, you just bust that out. So that's what I've been playing. Glaive Brick Breaker.
Speaking of tape mode, you have a flip grip, right? Do you use your?
Because of you, I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I started using it more. Have you been using your flip grip at all?
No, I haven't been using it a whole lot, but I actually have. You know what I've been looking into doing? I've been looking into soldering and doing all the stuff because I want to get a Switch, like a $20 Switch wired controller, and I want to solder arcade buttons and create my own pinball controller.
That'd be sweet.
That would be cool.
That's the one thing that I wish, like, they have all this Labo stuff, but Nintendo could make, like, a pinball machine case unit to play pinball games on, but they don't.
Yeah.
Especially since Pinball FX is such a huge game.
Yeah. I think, let me look, because I thought I saw some third-party coming out with... There is, okay.
Yeah, they're in Japan, though, and it's like their pre-orders are sold out and everything. But I would love to do that. But yeah, pinball is awesome in using that flip grip.
Yeah, that is really cool. Awesome. Anything else, Mike, besides the switching on a budget game?
That'll be it.
Cool. What about you, Phil? What have you been playing?
I've been continuing my trek, of course, through Broforce because I can't get enough. I just keep unlocking characters and chuckling every time, and now I've unlocked something called, like, Vitamins, spelt with a Z, of course.
Oh,
I think I'm about 40% into the game, and I've got a feeling you guys will be hearing me talk about this every week until I get all the way through it.
Nice.
And then because I live in the past, and sometimes I listen to people when they tell me that things are good, I started playing To the Moon, which I believe Jordan recommended the first week. I don't remember if we were recording or not.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
How much have you played of it?
I'm about halfway through. I want to say I've done like the first 10 or 11 puzzles, and I just stopped playing so that way we could record.
Gotcha.
But I am sucked into this story. That music is amazing.
Oh, yeah. The
gameplay is
phenomenal.
super simple, but it works. Like, the puzzles are basic, but man, the music and the story that are being told are just mind-blowing.
Yep.
This is a game that anybody who's ever been moved by, like, what is Edith Finch or any of those other kind of walking simulators with a nice, deep, heart-touching, good-feeling story, it's there, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of the best that I've played in that kind of realm. And yeah, it's like the gameplay, there's hardly any, right?
No,
like,
it's one button, two buttons.
Yeah, exactly. But it's definitely one of those games that's not about that. It's about the story. And yeah, the music is honestly so good. Like,
top notch.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I have it. I had to play it.
You do?
Yeah, I stuck 2 hours into it and I didn't want to put it down. I was ready to keep going.
Really? Yeah, because I think, Jordan, you said it's like 4 hours and you should just play
Yeah,
through.
4 or a little under. Yeah, if possible, play it in one. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so awesome.
And graphically, it's pretty as well. It's got that nice 16-bit, like, old school RPG style game to it. It's got that nice throwback feel to it, which they pulled off amazingly. Like, I can't say enough good things about this game at this juncture. Unless it absolutely turns a really bad corner, I don't see myself not loving it.
It doesn't. Don't worry. It's amazing the whole way through.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
It's better. Ugh.
Wasn't this game, like, wasn't it on the eShop and then got removed for some reason and then it came back, right? Didn't that happen to the Moon?
Did it? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I looked it up today and it came out in 2011. I'm just like, how am I just hearing about all these super old games right now?
Wow. But when did it come to the Switch?
It's new to Switch, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that it just came to Switch within the last few months, like 2020, right?
I would assume so, yeah. And I think when I grabbed it, it was that after we talked about it, you said it was like on sale for $5 or something like that. And this might be the best $5 I've spent on this side of Broforce.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. I am going to be playing this game when I am done with this podcast.
Yeah, Roger, you'll love it, man. I remember when you and I talked about Edith Finch, like how you were moved by the story on that. This story is right on par with the Edith Finch story.
Yeah.
Where you keep, I don't want to give anything away, but the way that it plays out is you kind of play the story backwards, which reveals more and more as it comes through, and it's done masterfully.
Wow. Cool. I am super excited to be playing this now. I know it's, so what happens with me is that I buy these games and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to play them. I want to sit down when I have like 4 hour chunks of time to play it. And then I just forget. that they're on my backlog. Cool. I'll have to play it. Anything else, Phil?
Just OMG TA6.
Yeah. Nice. What about you, Jordan? What have you been playing?
So playing the one that we're going to talk about later, switching on a budget. And then I did play a bit more Snaky Bus. After you chatted with the developer and he was talking about the high score and stuff, I did hop back in and see how well I could do. But the scoreboards are crazy. Like the scores on that are absolutely insane. Like I was doing a level where like the entire thing seemed like it was covered with my bus, and there was still on the leaderboard, there were like 200 more cars ahead of me still. And I'm like, how did they even fit this in this level? I don't know how they did it, but they're gods. And so I played a little bit of that. And then actually earlier today, I picked up a game it's on sale for 9 cents right now.
Ooh.
Ding Dong XL?
It's $1. Huh?
Ding Dong XL?
Yep.
I almost bought it myself when I was scrolling through the Switch shop. I've got a buddy that played it and he loves it, so I'll probably be grabbing it.
It's really good. So it's called Ding Dong XL. It's very simple. It's a 1-button game, or technically it can be 2, depending, which I'll get into. But it's like all these neon colors, really good music. Only one song, unfortunately, but at least the song is like good enough to listen to a lot, which we'll talk more about later for a different game. I wish it did have more music, but essentially the gameplay is there are colorful neon shapes going across the screen horizontally, and then you have a ball that you basically shoot up and down between 2 points, and you basically just try to shoot it and dodge in between the other neon shapes and not hit anything. And you see how long you can do that for. And obviously it gets more and more difficult as it goes on, and more shapes come and faster. And there's power-ups and stuff, so like sometimes you'll get one that slows down time, so you can like very quickly send your ball back and forth and get a lot of points. And basically you're just trying to figure out how many times you can send it back and forth without hitting a shape. And when you do, it's over, you start over again. And that's it. That's the game. But the music is really catchy and upbeat. The colors are amazing. And you literally can just play by pressing the A button or like the trigger button, and that's all you need. There are 2 other modes other than that one, and one of them is one that is 2 buttons, which is you then have 2 balls, and so you have like the ZR trigger will be one ball and the ZL trigger will be the other one. And so you're sending 2 back and forth. So now you have to focus on like, okay, I need to send this one earlier and that one later, or you can time them for the same time and try to like send them up and back. And then there's one more mode where your ball starts at the bottom and you're only going up on the screen, like north, and there's like essentially like a wall of lava behind you, so you have to like make sure you keep moving. But so you're dodging the shapes that are still going horizontally, but you're constantly moving up the screen, and it's an endless mode. So you basically just go for as long as you can. So you're not sending at that point, but you're still doing a 1-button press to like, you don't move around with the joystick or anything. Like you're saying, like if you push A, you're saying come back south. If you push A again, you're saying go back north. And that's the game, honestly. But it's a lot of fun. Like for $1, you're definitely going to get your money's worth. You're going to play it for long enough to make it worthwhile. And if it's still on sale for 9 cents when this episode releases, it's a steal.
Wow.
It's absolutely a steal.
Wow. I think I'm
downloading it as we speak.
Nice.
Honestly, like
I just did the same thing.
I was watching the video when because I got my Switch on me, and watching the video of it, it looks like this is what it looks like to me. It's most basic. It looks like the Bit Trip games.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a Frogger version of the Bit Trip games.
Oh, that's cool. That's
like awesome. Where you're trying to go from bottom to top without touching any of the squares that are moving left to right.
Cool. I'll have to. Yeah. I mean, I have enough gold coins to get that.
That's what I use.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, and realistically, even at top price of 99 cents, that's absolutely.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's
like even at full price
at its finest.
Yeah, like I would still buy this for $1 and be happy with my purchase already. And I probably only put like half an hour into it. Totally worth it. And I can see myself just picking it up here and there, just for like 5-10 minutes, seeing if I can do well, and then putting it back down. Like it's one of those games. And obviously, it's only like 100 and something megabytes. Like it's not going to take up that much space. Yeah, it's great.
Does it have online leaderboards or anything like that?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure it actually does.
Awesome.
I haven't checked them yet, but I think that after I've been dying, it has been like leaderboards. But I just haven't clicked it because I know that I'm garbage at it so far.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't even want to look at how far away I am from the leaderboards,
Yeah. It's funny because I, seeing a leaderboards, I was playing some more of that Sneaky Bus, and I was like, I think I had a really good run, and like I was the same way that you were, Jordan. I was like, nope, that was not good at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think this is good. This is like, I felt that was good. Nope, that was garbage. And then I just felt really bad about myself. So.
Yep, exactly. So don't even look. Ignorance is bliss. It's, just pretend you're doing well and just enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just a quick side note on this. The sale ends on May 8th.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so plenty of time.
Quite
Nice.
time.
Yeah. So by the time this show airs, you'll have at least a week to get it. So yeah, if you listen to it when it comes out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, better listen to it day one to get this great sale. Save yourself. I can't do math. 90 cents.
We're looking at you, Tom. You better buy it.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom does listen to our podcast. Cool. Anything else, Jordan?
No, that's it for now.
Cool. For myself, besides the game that we're playing for Switching on the Budget, I have played and finished the first part. Well, I mean, finished Later Daters, the part that came out, I should say. So apparently they're coming out in chunks, and I didn't realize that. So the first chunk is chapters 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't know anything about Later Daters, it is a dating sim. Is that what this genre is called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dating sim. Yeah.
So it's a dating sim. You are an elderly person, that is going to do they call it old age homes, or do they call it like assisted living? You know what I mean. So you're going to an assisted living home, and then what's cool about this game is that you get to pick your backstory a little bit. So you get to pick like what your backstory was. Like, did you have love, but then they died? Were you just a loner your whole life? And then you can choose like who you loved. So you can, pick same sex or opposite sex. So that was really I was really happy to see like how and then as you play the game, like how open the game is, like you can fall in love with anybody. So like the character I made, his backstory was, so you can't type in like what your backstory is, but you get to pick what you get to choose like, here's what my backstory would be, but you get to name your character. And then you get to pick your companion, so you can pick a cat or a dog or a robot, and you can name that as well.
Cat, dog, or robot. The 3 pets.
I'm here in my assisted living facility with my robot.
I know. Yeah. I should have picked the robot. I picked the dog.
Is it just a Roomba?
Yeah. What does the robot look like? That is the question.
I don't remember.
Is it like a Wall-E type robot? Is it like a...
I think so. I'll have to go back and check because I don't remember. I wanted to be, so like, this is so funny. Like, this is how I wanted to be somewhat realistic. Like, I wanted to make this character that was like, believable. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I want to make my character kind of relatable and believable. Because then like I create the story around them, and then I kind of get into the story more, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. That's how I play these kind of games. So my character, he had a dog, he lost his wife, and he moves into this assisted living facility, and then you run into all these characters and you start learning about their stories, and you could choose like how you want to interact with them. Like there's one person that's like lives next door to you, and they are always talking on the phone really loud, and you can report on them. You can say, oh, like this person, like you can kind of spy and like report it to the person.
Yes, report.
Yeah.
Report.
I want peace in my old age.
Yeah.
I know.
I want peace now.
And then you so you meet like all these different characters. There's like there's a guy that used to be like a rock star that was like in his assisted living. One of the characters you run into, like the one, well, I don't want to give it away because like it was kind of a shocker. I was like, whoa, that's like such a twist. Like and there's some sad moments. I mean, there's some sad moments in this story, and I actually found myself being like attached to all the characters. Like I really thought it was well written, and the characters really like they just became believable characters, and you started to have like, I don't know, just like feelings towards these characters, not like romantic feelings, but I mean just saying like feelings like, wow, like like this is sad. Like this could be somebody, you know, in real life. So,
and are you going to play like, are you the one character through all the episodes once they release? Okay.
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. That's so I think I got it for like $6.50. I think it's either like, I think I got it on sale. It might be like $7, but I got it for $6.50. I didn't realize that it was just the first 3 chapters. If I would have known that, I would have probably waited to buy all of it, but
I noticed that they updated that on the eShop as well. It says like part 1 or something on it now, where it originally didn't. It just said later daters, and now it says like part 1. So other people must have discovered the same thing and not have been happy about it.
Yeah. I would hope, because it says to be continued after you beat. It's like you don't really beat this game after you finish the.
You can beat a dating simulator. That's awesome.
So I know I've played a couple dating simulators. I think I mentioned how I reviewed like Arcade Spirits. I did pick up Speed Dating for Ghosts. I played a little bit of that. I want to finish that too. Yeah, I thought it was well written. You know, and this ranks right up there with some of those games, and just like it's just so well done. The writing is really good, and then there's music. Like, the production level is just so good too. The song will get stuck in your head. It's like later daters. It's so silly,
almost like a sitcom.
I was about to say something out of the 80s.
Yeah. Well, and there's some throwbacks to this. Like one of the options you had was like, you're presented with a situation and you're like, how would you answer this? Like one of the Golden Girls, and you get to pick like how one of the Golden Girls would respond to this. Like, are you gonna respond like Blanche would? Would you respond like, you know, like all the different characters? And I was like, this is so like just so well done. It was just so touching, and just like, you know, the characters, like I said, you kind of started to have like, you know, just you became attached to them. So cool game.
If with your initial download, are you going to have to pay the next $6 or $7 for the next chunk of it as well? Do you know, or
I'm assuming probably.
Gotcha.
I would think so. I don't know. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I'm going to, just because like I want to continue the story. But yeah, I wish that it would have been like, I was like, whoa, like $6 for the whole thing. Like that's so cheap. And then I was like, oh, it's the first 3 chapters, which lasted probably like an hour. That
I was about to ask how long it was.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity. I could just go back and play through it again. And they do offer different save files, so I could do that and pick different characters and pick different
robot.
Pick the robot and then pick different answers for my things. And you can become romantically involved with somebody if you'd like. So I mean, it's quite the it's pretty awesome. For a game that, you know, I don't know, like a lot of people probably don't like dating sims, but you know, I'm not like the biggest fan of dating sims, but it's well written. So
the video at the pets, I see why you picked the dog, because it is a Shiba Inu. So like I get it.
Yeah.
Good choice. But also I'm looking at this robot and I pick the robot. Like it's a robot, you know? Like how do you not pick the robot? Shiba Inu or not? Like it's a robot. It's a tiny little robot.
You don't want Sheila living down the hall throwing her V8 can at you going, nerd! Robot.
Yeah, but next time someone's talking too loud on the phone, I'm going to have my little robot go over there and kick some ass,
true.
right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you could hack that like in the game and make it like a kill
Oh my
bot.
gosh, yeah.
Or just like short circuit the phone or something, you know, like
Robot
little
just-
electrocution, something.
R2D2s it up, kicks in the
Yeah,
door,
exactly.
knocks them.
Yeah, or like chopping mall.
Nice.
That's an absurd
boy. No, it's not. It is, but I followed it.
This is not one of those games. I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe part 2 will be.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe. Maybe I'll go back and play it as the robot now. I mean, it really, like I said, it took like an hour to play through it, so it wasn't real long. So
I bet you could deliver love notes on top of the robot's head.
probably. I mean, well, I don't know. The dog didn't really do much. It just, you came home and the dog would always bark, and you're like, oh yay, hi dog.
So you're saying it's a pet?
It's a pet. Yeah. And then the other game I've been playing, have you guys played the game Roundguard at all, or heard of this game?
No.
Nope.
So it's oh boy, how do I explain it? It's an RPG game, but it's like pinball. So
Sold.
Yep. What's that again? Roundguard?
Roundguard, yeah. So you have, you get to pick between a warrior, a mage, and a thief, and you level them up. And when you play these levels, you it acts like it's almost like a TV show, which is really interesting. It's like a fantasy TV show. And you take the character and you shoot them through like a catapult, or not a catapult, a crossbow. I guess that's the word more what I was looking for. And you shoot your character off, and it bounces around in this on the playing field. And there's monsters through it, and you have to hit the monsters, and you get different powers. So like I was playing with the warrior last night, and one of the special moves that they have is a spin attack. So he takes his axe and he spins at that monster, and you can kill it. You can also just run into it, but if you run into it, you also lose health too. So you have a health bar and you have mana bar. Your mana bar is for those special moves. And then through the game, you can also pick up weapons that will help you. So you might get a weapon that does more damage. You can pick up armor that can do certain things for you. There's certain abilities that they're just passive abilities. It's such a cool game. It's such a neat game. And it came out probably about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. And I heard some good news about the game, like when it first came out. And then just like a lot of those games, because there's just the vast sea of games out there, it just kind of faded away into, obscurity, which is too bad because it's a really good game. And that also has a leaderboard too. So like it shows you like how much gold you did on your run. There's boss battles. So you fight against these bosses. And the game doesn't take itself seriously. It's a kind of a goofy game. And then after your run, they show you like where you ranked week wise for how many gold pieces you got versus monthly, I think, and then also like overall. So I was really proud of myself. I ended up in 98th place for this week so far for my last run, which I thought was pretty good. Ranked the top 100. So I know it's not that great, but at least it was like my best run. I was like, yes, that was awesome. So that's Roundguard. Check it out if you're interested in like RPGs that are a little bit different. So, all right. So those are the games we're playing. Now we're going to move on to switching on a budget section. And this week, the game that we picked, I'm sorry, I picked this.
Yeah. Don't say we.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff.
Yeah, Roger, I honestly thought we were friends. And then you made us play this. And I'm sticking with made us play this.
So the game, so it's $4.99. Was it on sale when we picked it up, or did we pay the $4.99? No. Well,
right.
Okay, damn it.
Just backpedals into it, damn it.
So the game is called, I'm gonna read you the game, and I'm gonna read you the description on Nintendo's website of this game. So it's OMG Police - Car Chase Simulator. That's the name of the game. It's $4.99, and this is the description. This is an action game where you run away from the police while being part of a chase TV news. Choose one of the
I'm just shaking my head right now.
choose one of the two powerful locations. Two powerful locations. Los Angeles, which in the game is called like City or something like
City Escape or something like that.
City Escape, yeah. And then Area 51, which again in the game is called Desert 51. Area 51 military base in Nevada. Watch out for UFOs. Take your task is to survive as long as possible, and while escaping, you can collect hundreds of thousands of dollars, which are scattered around different locations
in $10
for the money
increments.
Yeah, well, there's a $50 bill out there apparently, Phil.
Well, okay.
for the money you collect, buy another car that is faster and more durable. You can destroy everything you encounter, but remember to repair your car. And then these are the bullet points. These are like the key highlights of the game. 20 great cars, hundreds of dollars for new cars, car repair points, live coverage on Chase TV. Yeah, So, I mean, it sounds like this would be the greatest game you ever play, right?
Yeah, OMG TA6.
So, like, I'll let somebody else describe the game. Like
we're all like, don't pick me.
Okay, I'll take this one maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can talk about this game with being PG. So you're in a car and you're running from the cops, and there's places you can hide. And you've got a health bar on your car, and if you get hit, sometimes it damages your car, other times the car just drives on top of you and doesn't hurt you at all. And you go for as long as you can, collecting these little $10 increments and apparently a $50 bill that's laying somewhere that nobody's ever seen. It's all filmed via, we'll call it a helicopter, but I might be pushing it.
Yeah.
It's broken, man.
Yeah.
They didn't even say that. They're talking about it like, oh yeah, this is a like a car chase camera footage.
Yeah.
But there's like nothing that gives you that indication.
No.
It just looks like a top-down view.
Like at least give me the shadow of a helicopter or something that's chasing me the entire time.
Yeah.
Because there's shadows
or
for the
like,
airplanes or whatever that fly overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this style? What is this art style called? It's like some kind of polygon, right? I mean,
I have a 4-letter word that describes it.
Yeah. Ryan, yeah.
but I mean, like, it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like I don't want to say Minecraft.
No,
it's
it's got that like
Voxel.
yeah, voxel I think is the right term.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like Totally Reliable Delivery Service, which is an indie game that came up pretty recently as well. It's got that same kind of style to it.
It's just easier to say terrible.
Yeah. So I think it's so this game has had potential. Had potential.
Until you touch the controller.
Yeah.
Let's be real, man. Like, there's not even a gas pedal. It's all done via the left analog stick.
Yeah,
None of the other buttons do a darn thing for you.
Did you guys try to push a button? Because that's how I first started playing it. I was like, how do I make my car go forward? And then I was hitting like the A button. I was like, oh, that must make my car go forward because my car is moving forward. I didn't realize I was also pushing the stick forward, right? Because that's just how I play. Like, I hit the A button and then I'm also pushing my stick forward.
Yeah, it was all about right trigger.
Yeah. I tried that too, and then I was like, well, what's break? And then I thought I was breaking with one of the trigger buttons. I'm like, oh no, I just hit backwards and forwards, and that's how I make this car move. 20 great cars. So the first car you start with is like
it's an RV.
It's an RV. It's super slow. Like, so this is the problem. This is the problem with this game is that it starts off
problem or a problem?
Well, a problem. So, like, they should have probably started you off at a car when you start getting to like the $1,500 price range, because not that the game is like 100 times better, but at least you feel like you're moving and you're like, oh, I'm actually somewhat There's no progression in this game. I don't even know what to say. I mean,
it feels like you're playing the game that they wanted to make, which was like you're trying to escape the cops. And in all the other cars, you can't really. They're much faster than you. They will get you probably within 20 to 30 seconds, and then you have to start over.
Yeah.
But once you unlock, at least when I unlocked like the red car, I was fast enough that I could actually like feel like I was playing the game.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like waiting for the cars to just find me and hope that I either found a spot that was kind of cheating and they would just run into the wall over and over again so I could make money. Like, it's a game that I feel like this game, as it is right now, is a very good alpha build. I feel like they have all the elements in there and that it needed people to play it and give feedback at this point so that they could make changes. Stuff like the starting car that you get, a lot of the bugs that we found, a lot of the way that the AI reacts. Like, this is a very good AI build with like promising gameplay. Like, I see where the game could be fun with different music, with starting with the cars different, more levels. Like, there's a lot here, but it feels like an early access game on the Switch store, but it's not.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing too. Like, the crash mechanics are awful.
Yeah,
right?
the collision detection
crash
has not
mechanics?
existed.
Well, whatever you. Yeah, I mean, the collision mechanics, they're awful. And the other thing is, like, the other thing that's really kind of, there's no progression. There's nothing to like progress to. I did notice today, I guess I never realized it before, that they do keep track of like how many cars you smashed over through your whole career and how many cars you unlocked. Well, you already know that because you see that. Like how much money you've earned over the time. Okay, cool, but like there's like no leaderboards. There's like, it's like,
no, it's all just like a self leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, can you beat your past record? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what my past record was. Like, there's nothing to progress to. There's like no like
cars are the only progression, right? Like,
yeah, right.
That's it.
Yeah. But just that is such a slog to go through to get to, to unlock another
when you're only
car.
In the early cars, when you're only making $16, $25 on your run, and you got to make it up to $250 on a run to get your next car or whatever. It was a very slow grind.
Yeah. And and the thing is, like, I like games that have like an arcade feel to them, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and I think this is what they were trying to get to. Like, let's make this an arcadey kind of game where you can, earn so many, like, I don't know, points or whatever. But it's not fun. It's just not fun.
There's no polish on it.
No. And I showed you guys this. I found so we all talked about like how there's like ways that you can cheat in this game. I found a place. I was thinking to myself, like, so their crash mechanics or their AI logic, basically the police cars are coming at you, but they also have like mechanic where they're trying to drive around cars. Why if I park in a parking lot between two police squad cars next to the police station? So there's like 3, barriers by me, right? And like even behind me, there's a building somewhat behind me. Let's see what happens. And I sat there for 8 minutes and the cars just spun around me and they couldn't hit me. And
until they drove through buildings.
And yeah, exactly. Like that was the other thing. I'm like, there's a car that's driving through a building. This is ridiculous. But 8 minutes I sat there. And so you earn money just by sitting there too. So I earned like $250 just by sitting there doing absolutely nothing. It has just had so much potential. Like, just think about like they could have had like jumps and they could have had like cool like scenes and. I don't know.
It's like for me, like the cars need to be different enough too, because like the first ones you get are like so similar, and they honestly, even though they look different, there's not that much of a difference. Like I would have liked more choices at the start to be like, okay, do you want the fast one with like good turning or bad turning? Do you want one with a lot of health but it's slower, and like give the choice?
Right.
But as you're playing, like it doesn't feel like you actually. There's not really a choice, because you get to a point where it's like, okay, this is the one that I can actually get away from the cops, so I'm going to use this one. And that's where I stopped when I finally got the one that felt like I could play the game. But I just wish that there was actual choice where it's like, okay, this time I'm going to try to go high health and just try to keep repairing. But there's not that choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad.
There could have been much more to it. I think it was released way too early. Did anybody play the original PlayStation game Driver?
Yes.
That was one of my favorite things. Was just do free drive and just try to outrun the police.
Yeah.
And they could have added so much more like crazy things that happen, like make it real over the top. But it's basically what the game is: survive as long as you can, and police cars drive through you.
Yeah.
And explode.
Yeah.
It's too bad, because I know these people have more talent than I ever will when it comes to programming games, but the game just doesn't work.
No,
unfortunately doesn't.
Their head was in a good place when they attempted to create it. Unfortunately, the final product just fell a little short.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And honestly, with the idea behind the game of the fact that it's like a helicopter following, like it actually made me wish that the gameplay was, I am the TV helicopter chasing down a car chase that's going on by its own.
That'd be a sweet game.
Yeah, right? And I want to be going around trying to get the best
avoiding
footage,
buildings, getting the best footage, getting rated for it.
Yeah, like trying to keep it in the center of the screen, all this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that's the game I wanted to play when I was playing this.
I wish I was the helicopter. And I will buy that game. We'll be talking about it in 6 episodes. You just watch.
Right.
Jordan, I think you should work in video games, man.
I know. I should get on that.
It's too bad. I feel I will say, like, I felt so bad because because like we should probably rotate to pick who picks our budget game.
I've got one that looks really nice for next week. I'll send you guys a link when we're done.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Because like I was there was a couple games that I had that I wanted to suggest for us to play, and then I saw this and I was like, oh guys, this looks really cool. Like you get to chase away from it sounded cool. It sounded like such a cool game. And then I played it, and the music is just it felt like I had the same experience you did. Go, 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 go!
Yeah.
And it when I said, I was like, "Oh, this music sucks." And Phil, I think you haven't played it yet at that point, and then you were like, the first 2 minutes, you were like, "This is not
awesome.
bad."
The music was great the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then the next 2 minutes or the rest of your life playing that game, you're like, "This is the worst music ever."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I was too. Like the first 2 minutes, I'm like, this music kicks butt, man. This is awesome. And I'm driving around an RV that can't move. That's not cool, but the music is kicking butt. Any final thoughts on the game before we move on?
I think we probably covered everything. I wanted to like the game so much, and when you guys were saying what you were saying in chat, I was like, it can't be. Oh, it is. Yeah.
I really wanted to like the game too. Like, I did find myself playing it, doing a couple runs just because I was like, okay, maybe if I just get the next car, it'll be better. Maybe if I just get the next one, it'll be better. And then I just found myself saying, there's 20 cars. This is not going to be any different. I'm done. All right. Well, that's our switching on a budget game. Before we go, let's go around and tell people how they can get a hold of us. So, Mike, we'll start with you. How can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at TCThrowers and at Twitch, twitch.tv/TCThrowers.
Nice. And Phil, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at capital letter B, now 23, short for board now 23. You can find me on almost any platform underneath that name.
Nice. And Jordan, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cryptic Jordan, or I just started streaming again on Twitch. You can find me there, twitch.tv/CrypticJojo.
Nice. And you can follow us here. You can follow Gamerheads. Because we're under the Gamerheads family, I guess. So Gamerheads PC. You can also go to the Nindie Focus Podcast specific Twitter account, and that's Focus Nindie. And then I'm going to start streaming games that we talk about on Monday nights. So I'll be streaming this game on Monday because that's just what I'm going to do. So you can check us out at twitch.tv/GamerheadsPodcast. All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you.
And Phil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
And listeners, thank you for spending your time with us and giving us a listen. If you do like what you hear, do give us a review. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the show. And that helps us grow as well. Until next time, enjoy, play games, have fun, and we'll talk to you next week. See ya.
So long.
Bye.